The galaxy's most feared woman pointed to me. Her reason stole my breath. I had heard the story since childhood, whispered in docking bays and sung in half-forgotten space shanties. They spoke of a woman whose name alone made admirals flinch, a shadow whose presence could silence a council of warlords. She was called 1,000 things across the stars: the Crimson Blade, the Queen of Ruin, the galaxy's most feared woman. But I never believed those stories had anything to do with me. I was nobody, a freighter rat, a salvage runner, one of those nameless men who work the forgotten routes between asteroid belts, dragging broken ships into repair docks for credits barely enough to eat. I never wore a soldier's badge, never raised a blaster for any cause. The galaxy's wars spun endlessly overhead like storms, and I kept my head down in the rain, until the day she pointed to me. Part 1. The whisper of her name. The system of Kaler was burning when I arrived. My ship, the Drifter's Luck, wasn't meant for war zones. Its hull was scratched with decades of neglect, its jump drive coughed like an old drunk, and its shields could barely repel a meteor pebble. But I had work. The job was to salvage what I could from the shattered Kilorian blockade before scavengers or pirates stripped it clean. The war between the Union and the Scytheborn had turned Kaler into a graveyard. Fragments of warships drifted like broken bones, and silent escape pods spun endlessly, their lights long dead. It was here that I first saw her. At first, she was only a shape, an armored figure standing on the deck of a ruined dreadnought, backlit by the bleeding light of Kaler's dying sun. I thought she was a ghost, another casualty staring out into the void. Then she moved. Her armor was crimson black, a weave of alien alloys rumored to be carved from a living star. The helmet she wore was sleek, faceless, and terrifyingly calm, as though nothing in the universe could reach her. And yet the wreckage bent around her. Her very presence seemed to drag gravity itself, as if space bowed beneath her boots. "Get back to your ship," my droid hissed through the comm, panic vibrating through its synthetic voice. "Do you not recognize her?" I didn't answer. My body froze when the woman turned her head. Even across a kilometer of wreckage, I felt her eyes find me. Then she lifted a single-gloved hand and pointed. Me. Part 2. The Huntress. The galaxy called her Saraxave. She was no myth, she was flesh, blood, and fury. She had raised fleets, cut down emperors, and ended wars not with armies but with her own hand. And she had chosen me. I scrambled back into the Drifter's Luck, heart slamming against my ribs. Engines roared to life, shields flickered, and I swung the ship away from the battlefield, hoping she would forget me like a shadow glimpsed in the corner of an eye. But she didn't. Her own ship emerged from the debris, a predator of obsidian and scarlet, silent as the grave. It slid after me like a shark through dark waters, matching every evasive twist. The Union Navy had entire dossiers on her vessel. Some said it was alive, bound to her blood. Others claimed it had been built by an ancient species long extinct. Whatever it was, I knew I couldn't outrun it. So I didn't try. Instead, I dove toward the Kilorian Rift, a canyon of shattered moons and plasma storms where even military scouts feared to tread. My ship rattled like a dying bird, alarms screaming in every language I knew, but I pushed deeper, weaving between burning rocks and lightning storms. For one brief moment, I thought I'd lost her. The sensors cleared, the void opened, and silence reigned. Then her voice filled my ship. "You," she said. Just that one word transmitted across the void, spoken in a voice low and resonant enough to chill bone. I didn't answer. My throat had locked. "You are coming with me." Part 3. The Reason. When her boarding pods tore through my hull, I thought it was the end. The legend said no one survived a meeting with Salvager. She killed emperors with her bare hands. She drowned colonies in silence. She was unstoppable. But when she stepped through the hatch, her crimson armor glowing faintly from re-entry heat, she didn't kill me. She simply stood there, the void swirling behind her, and reached up to remove her helmet. Her face was not the face of a monster. It was sharp, fierce, and human. Her eyes burned like suns, golden and unyielding. Her lips parted as though tasting the air between us. And then she whispered my name. Not my ID code. Not the alias stamped on my salvage license. My real name, the one I hadn't heard since childhood, buried under years of false registrations and fabricated histories. How? I croaked, my voice breaking. You don't remember, she said. Her words felt like a blade sliding into the seams of my skull, unlocking something I had forgotten. No, something I had buried. A child's memory, blurred by years of silence. A war orphan clinging to another's hand in the ruins of a fallen world. A girl with eyes like suns, promising she would come back for me, swearing the stars themselves would never separate us. That girl was her. You, I whispered. It can't be. It is, Salvager said. I swore I would find you, no matter how far, no matter how long, even if I had to burn the galaxy apart to do it. And that was the reason. The most feared woman in the galaxy. She had done all of this not for power, not for vengeance, but to carve a path back to me. Part 4. Chains of the Past. The days that followed blurred into light and shadow. She brought me aboard her ship, the Ebon Veil, where corridors pulsed like veins and every door obeyed her presence alone. She did not chain me, did not threaten me. She simply stayed near, watching with the intensity of someone who had waited a lifetime for something they dared not lose again. I wanted to run. Every story I'd ever heard screamed in my head. She is a killer, a tyrant, a monster. Yet whenever I looked at her, I didn't see a monster. I saw the girl I once knew, grown into something terrible and magnificent. Why me? I asked her once, my voice shaking. She looked at me with those golden eyes. Because you are the only piece of myself I could never kill. I didn't understand fully then, but I would. The Union hunted her. Armadas swept through systems, desperate to end her reign. Yet no matter how many ships they sent, she broke them. Entire planets bent knee rather than face her fury. And through it all, she kept me at her side, not as a prisoner but as a tether. There were moments when she was almost human again. I'd catch her standing at the viewport, helmet set aside, watching the stars as though waiting for something. Sometimes she'd speak of the night we lost our world, how she swore never again to be powerless, how she carved her empire from fear so that no one could take from her again. And I wondered, was she a monster? Or simply what the galaxy had made her? Part 5. The Choice. It all came to a head above the world of Drosen Prime. The Union had gathered their largest fleet yet. Hundreds of warships, dreadnoughts bristling with weapons, carriers filled with legions. They meant to end her here. Salvager stood at the command throne, crimson armor gleaming, her voice carrying like thunder. Let them come. I stood beside her, trembling. I knew this battle would decide not only the fate of the galaxy, but mine. For if she won, the galaxy would kneel. And if she lost, I would die with her. The first volleys tore through space, lighting the void with fire. Her ship roared back, weaving through fleets like a beast of living steel. I had never seen such destruction, such beauty wrapped in terror. But then her defenses cracked. Even the Ebon Veil could not withstand everything. Flames licked the corridors. Systems screamed in protest. And still she fought unyielding. She turned to me amidst the chaos and reached out a hand. "Stand with me," she said. And in that moment the universe slowed. I could see the path of my life split in two. One road was escape, slipping away in a pod, letting the galaxy tear her down while I vanished back into obscurity. The other was to take her hand, choose her, to become part of her legend, for better or worse. I looked into her eyes, burning gold in the darkness. I thought of the child she had been, the oath she had made, the fire she had carried across the stars just to find me. And I took her hand. Part 6. A Breath Stolen. The battle ended not with the Union's victory, nor with Syrax's destruction. It ended with surrender. Not hers, theirs. When the Union realized I stood at her side, they faltered. For in the deepest archives, in the files buried by governments too afraid to speak them, my name carried a different weight. I was not just a salvage rat. I was the last blood heir of the fallen House Kaler, the dynasty erased when the Scytheborn first tore through the stars. I had never known. My past had been hidden from me, a secret buried in forged records and erased worlds. But she had known. She had searched. And when she found me, she had pointed. Not to kill, not to claim, but to restore. "With you," she whispered in the aftermath as fleets bowed before us, "the galaxy will never again forget who we are." And my breath left me because I understood. She had not burned the galaxy for power. She had burned it to carve a throne wide enough for us both. The galaxy's most feared woman had chosen me. And now I chose her.